Hi everyone, my name is Deanna Hansen. I'm a certified athletic therapist and the founder of Fluid Isometrics and Block Therapy.
And my name is Quinn Castellane. I'm the VP of Block Therapy and the lead block therapist.
Welcome to day 3 of the All Things Hip series. We're going to dive right in and we're going to start a little differently today. Rather than doing the breathing position on the belly button, we're going to bring it lower. So we're addressing more that lower belly position to start.
All right. So Block Buddy will be flat, again, lower belly, so it's just below the belly button, but above your pubic bone. And the block will be positioned very similar, horizontal to your mat. And then you can make those minor adjustments as you come onto the block. And then let's just start up on the elbows, and then once you settle in, you can bring yourself flat to the floor.
So I find that when we bring the block to the lower belly, it's generally less painful for people. But what we want to do is really work the inhalation, feeling as though we're integrating those lower abdominal muscles. This is a little harder to do, so don't get frustrated if you don't actually feel like you're engaging those muscles yet. But let's focus first on that inhalation phase, moving the belly into the block, getting a sense that you're even lifting your body up off the block with that full inhalation. And breathing in and out through your nose if you can. And the breath becomes stronger with each day that we work in this fashion. So notice if you have more control of the breath, if you're starting with it from a slower, more continuous and full place. And as always, your breath is your guide. If something is too intense that it takes that relaxed breathing rhythm away, that's your body letting you know that we need to back off and do this less intensely. You can do it on a bed, you can have pillows under your rib cage, or you can adjust by being up on your elbows. Now taking the attention to the exhalation phase of the breath, allow your body weight and gravity to do the work as the block sinks deeply into the core. In this lower belly position, we are really stimulating the organs of reproduction and elimination. Still trying to get a sense that with that inhalation, you are moving the lower belly into the block. And after that full exhalation, see if you can hold for a moment or two before engaging that inhalation and really take your mind to the sensations. Slowing the breath down a little bit more. We'll take 3 more full slow exhalations here. And when you're ready, place your hands under your shoulders and exhale up and off the block.
Okay.
So before we dive into more block work, we're going to start doing the cobra pose. So we're going to do this at the beginning and the end. So we're going to be flat on our belly to begin. And then let's take your hands as close to your hips as possible. Then from here, let's connect to the root, that squeezing of the anus action, feeling the pubic bone moving into the floor. And then when you're ready while rooted, Exhale as you lift the rib cage up off the floor. And just like with blocking, your breath is your guide. Oh, you keep going. Trying to get out of your way here.
And do you want to feel this coming from my back pulling me up or my arms pushing me up?
It's a combination of both. The more we can connect to the back to do the work, the better. But in the beginning, we'll be using probably the arms a little more to start. And once here, let's connect the chin, tuck the chin to keep the back of the neck nice and long. As we push ourselves higher up, we tend to want to let that neck fall out of alignment. So let's keep that chin nice and tucked and just get a sense of what it feels like in your pelvis, because as we work to release all of those adhesions on the inside and through the gluteus medius, you're going to have a new range of motion when we finish here. Let's just take 3 more full breaths here. Last breath. And slowly come back down. How does that feel?
Very good.
Very good.
That was pretty good range of motion.
That was really good. I was shocked, actually. And exhale up. Here's your block. Okay, so now we're going to go right on top of the pubic bone.
So a little bit lower than the previous position we had. So we're literally on the pubic bone. Block will be the same, horizontal to your mat, flat. And then slowly approach the block. Make those adjustments so you feel the block directly on the pubic bone. And then again, you can either stay on the elbows or you can bring yourself flat to the floor.
So to begin with here, let's just get a sense of what side you feel more pressure on. The pubic bone should be flush. There's 2 bones here that connect to this pubic joint. So we want to have both of those bones in alignment, but because we're not aligned, you may feel that one is pushing into the block with a little more pressure. So just become aware of that. The goal as we work through this process is to bring balance to both of these bones. And you can even very slowly just rock left to right, just getting a sense of what's going on in here. There's a lot of pain in here. The pubic symphysis, this joint, it's directly related to the SI joint in the back. So if we have any sciatic issues or low back pain, this is definitely an area that we also need to release for that balance in the body. So what we're going to do now, and this is going to ramp up the intensity, so if this is enough pain for you, just stay here in this position. We're going to connect the root with the exhalation and then release with the inhalation. So we're going to do 10 breaths this way. And this is going to give us a bit of a massaging effect on that pubic bone. So we root and exhale, and by rooting, we're pushing that pubic bone into the block with a little more pressure. Then slowly and with control, release as you inhale. And really use your breath in a slow and controlled manner while doing this. You want the movement to be fluid and full with the breath. Are we about halfway through now?
Going on to 7.
Okay. Exhale as you root. Inhale as you release. And then let's do one more breath here. And then just relax and release for a moment. And then again, let's get a sense of how those bones feel. Did we make any progress creating symmetry? How do you feel, Quinn?
Feeling good. I still need to work more on my right side, I feel.
Okay, so let's take one more minute, and if you feel one side is higher, shift your weight over to that side and let's stay on that side for the last minute while we're here. If you feel like you're pretty balanced, you can just continue to rock slowly left to right, or you can go back into that rooting breath work. We'll do 3 more full slow exhalations here. And when you're ready, take your hands under your shoulders and exhale up off the block.
All right.
Make some progress there?
Definitely.
Wonderful. So now we're going to be doing the bicycle seat, the perineum position, but instead of having the block this way, we're going to have it this way so that you can play around with these edges with your sit bone.
All right. One of my favorite positions. So literally sitting on this like a bicycle seat, block, as Deanna mentioned, will be positioned this way. And these sweats, got to make sure I have some room here. They're new. And then slowly bring all of your body weight onto the block.
So Quinn, can you get a sense of your sit bones there on those edges?
I almost have to bring it further back. There we go.
There you
Okay,
go.
that's right on the sit bones now.
Yeah, so we want them right on the sit bone so that we
Wow.
can actually, just like yesterday when we did that ASIS position, we're right on top of the bone, but the fascia wraps over the bone. So you might feel like you're not targeting anything but bone, but there's a lot of tissue here we still have to release. So once you begin, can you bring your hands down to the floor?
Yep.
And then let's just walk the upper body slightly over to the right. And let's just see if we can drop into that left sit bone a little bit here. You feeling that?
So like pull the left sit bone almost more into the block?
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
Connect to that left glute
Yes.
to move that sit bone into the block. And then just micro movements. Let's play around in there and create as much space as possible. Staying connected to that full exhalation. Let's get our mind involved as well with that full inhale. Imagine all of that blood and oxygen flow going to the exact site that you're targeting. Imagine the tissue becoming pinker, becoming more filled with oxygen and life. And then you can even imagine exhaling black smoke out of your nose as we're releasing the toxins from the body. We'll just spend 3 more full breaths focused over on this left side. Using that glute to maneuver that sit bone as you need, searching for pain. And then let's slowly walk that upper body back to neutral and then carry on over to the left.
Yeah, so as we search to the left, you should be feeling this on the right side. So you're pulling the right sit bone, you're activating the right glute.
And even become aware if one side felt completely different than the other. That's totally to be expected. The goal is balance and symmetry, but that's not our reality. So as long as we're moving in the direction toward balance and symmetry, we're on the right path.
This is painful.
Yeah. Most of it is. But we love pain, good pain.
Yeah, this is like a spot I feel like I haven't tapped into.
And what's really nice about this position, you can watch a TV show. It's a way of bringing this work into what you're already doing, and it doesn't really take much energy to just get into this and to do that added work. I'll even have the block flat when I'm sitting, when I'm working on my computer. And then you can, again, just kind of bring your attention to those sit bones and play around once in a while. And just the act of sitting there for a while is also going to melt, even if you're not actively searching. Let's take 3 more full exhalations on this side. Using that right glute to create a movement. And then let's slowly take that upper body back to neutral. And then if you just want to come back up into a seated position for just a moment and just get a sense of how that feels now. Maybe just rock left to right a little bit and see if that feels more balanced than when you began.
It's definitely my right side I need to spend more time on.
All right. And then let's exhale up. So now just come back down to a seated position and notice how you feel in your pelvis.
Oh, just more balanced.
Nice.
And euphoric.
Wonderful. Nothing like a euphoric feeling.
Exactly.
Okay, now we're gonna be lying on our back, and the block is gonna be on its side, and we're gonna place it just at the SI joint height, so right about here.
Yes.
Right at the top of the crack.
Oh, God.
Just for a landmark.
All right, so you can bend your knees like this, lift the pelvis up, just so that you can see my block is horizontal to my mat. So it's not on the glute, it's just above the glute on that bone there.
Yeah, and then we're just gonna spend a moment here, just get nice and balanced, connect to that full exhalation. You feel nice and steady? Mm-hmm. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do, if this feels right for you, is let's straighten that left leg. And then we're just gonna roll over to the left side just so that we can nudge that thick tissue that has gotten jammed up around that SI joint and soften it. You feeling that? Mm-hmm. Perfect. And if you're not feeling as though you're getting deep enough with the leg straight, you can also lift that left leg and put the foot on the right quad. So you're opening up that joint in a bit of a different way. That feels good?
Yeah.
Okay. You can also take that leg and just move it around up in the air. So whatever feels right for you, you want to find that greatest sensation of pain that you can breathe with, because that means you're connecting to the most adhesions so we can melt them effectively with the breath. We'll spend 3 more breaths on this side. And Quinn's hanging on to the block with his right hand here, so you can certainly do that to create a little more stability if you feel you need. And then let's take that foot back to the floor. Just readjust so you feel balanced. And then take that right leg straight and begin by searching over to the right. Noticing the difference. We are anything but symmetrical. So one side becomes more rotated forward, the other one becomes jammed and rotated back more. So just get a sense of where you feel more congestion, just for your own understanding of your body. And if this feels wonderful and you want to stay here, that's great. Or you can take that right leg up and place the foot on the left quad, or you can even have that leg up in the air searching, whatever makes sense for your body. Stay focused on that full breath. And we'll take 3 more full exhalations here. And when you're ready, place that right foot back down on the floor. And then bring your body back into balance again. And I'm not going to actually take you out of this position. We're going to move into the next position, which is going to be the left gluteus medius. So to begin, let's slide the block over to the left.
Yeah, so you can exhale, lift the pelvis up, slide it over to the left slightly, and then that should be targeting a little more of the tissue, more of the glute there.
And did you have to bring yours up a little higher or a little lower to be in that gluteus medius area?
Almost straight out.
Yeah, just straight over to the side. And it doesn't have to be exact. We're going to be targeting a bit of the piriformis below those glutes, and then that whole upper part. So just notice how that feels, and when you feel nice and stable, just like Quinn did, straighten that left leg. You can also hang on to the block with your hands if you feel you need. And we really want to explore the full distance right from that SI joint all the way to the outside where the outer part of that hip is. So you want to really roll that whole distance and notice in yourself where you have the most pain.
And if you need to, you can slide your body a little more to the right side of the block so you have more room to search to the left.
Absolutely, yes.
And there's a lot of, for me, there's a lot of tension and pain, especially as I search more towards the outside.
You can even play around with taking that left leg a little bit out to the side. You can have the toes pointing away from the body in external rotation. You can take the toes, point them up to the ceiling and even toward the body in internal rotation. All of those actions are going to create a different alignment in this area, giving you access to different adhesions that you want to melt. And if this position feels wonderful and you want to stay, do that. You can also take that left leg and take it up. And as you're bringing the knee up towards your chest, you're going to be opening up that whole area to different adhesions as well. So you really just become the archaeologist of your own body. You're exploring your inner world and you want to get all the way to the bone, to the treasure which is releasing that tissue from the bone to free up blood and oxygen flow to cells. We'll spend 1 more minute here on this side. So find the avenue that makes the most sense for you to get the most out of this work. Taking your mind into this, directing that blood and oxygen flow to where the sensations are, moving the toxins out of your body with black smoke leaving your nose. And we'll take 3 more full slow exhalations. And when you're ready, let's just bring the body back so that both feet are planted on the floor. Then let's lift the pelvis up and slide the block to the right side. And starting with just that right leg straight, and just begin to explore as far as you can over to the right. And adjust your block if you need. Staying focused on that full exhalation. And if you choose to explore further, you can take the right foot and you can either have it searching in the air, you can place the foot on that left quad, again, what makes sense for you. And what's really nice is each time you do any position, it's not the same as the time you did it before, because now your tissue has changed. Your cells have migrated to a more correct alignment. So when you get back into the position, you're going to be connecting to other cells. So what might have felt the best one day can feel very different the next if you go back into that same position. And when you're exploring, you don't want to rush through things. When we connect and we move nice and slow, we stay with those adhesions so that we can melt as many as possible. Fast movement keeps us more on the surface. We'll spend 1 more minute here. Exhaling fully with every breath. And we'll take 3 more full slow exhalations. And when you're ready, let's just take both feet back to the floor. And then lift up, take the block out, and then roll over to one side. And exhale up. How you doing?
Wow. That was probably the deepest I got in my glutes in a very long time.
Excellent.
The glute medius.
So now we're going to go back into Cobra, and then we're going to do Child's Pose to end. So let's get you back laying flat on your belly. And now we want to see how much range we've gained from this work. So let's take the hands as close to your hips as possible, keeping the palms on the floor. Connect to the root so you're nice and stable and you've lengthened your back. And with that root, exhale as you lift the rib cage up off the floor. Wow, you certainly gained some range.
Yeah.
And tuck the chin. We want to keep the back of the neck nice and long here. You look weird.
Why do I look weird?
Because you're like at a right angle, the
You're making
opposite
fun
well.
of me? The opposite way.
Well, it's the right way actually, but it's
It just looks bizarre.
it does. Let's take 5 more full breaths here. Staying connected to that root so that you're really drawing those hips toward the floor. And when I do this, I'm very aware that the top of my right quad isn't quite aligned. So I try to make the tops of my legs feel like they're balanced on the floor as well, which takes some time because we're actually shifting and adjusting everything here. Let's just do 2 more breaths here. And slowly take the body down. Good work. And now just to release the back, we're going to come into a child's pose. So you're going to have your feet together and your knees about mat distance apart. And then just take that body down to the floor, forehead to the ground. See if you can push your butt onto your heels. And then just allow that rib cage and core to sink through your legs as it works itself toward the floor. And we'll take 3 more slow, full breaths here. And when you're ready, place your hands under your shoulders and exhale up to seated.
Wow.
All right.
Aren't I the yogi now?
Aren't you though?
Whew, that was great. Yeah, because the glute medius for me, like growing up playing hockey all the time, you're always in that stride where you're constantly just gluing the glute more and more and more. So I have years and years and years of compression in there, but that was the deepest I've gotten in the glutes. And I just feel like my whole pelvis and even lower back, my thoracic spine feels like it's lengthening and just more symmetrical. My core looks more symmetrical from this series. So this has been awesome.
Wonderful. So thank you so much for joining us. This has been lots of fun and we look forward to seeing you next month. Have a wonderful day. Breathe and believe.